This is an introduction to international relations, also known as IR. Often we're asked the question, what is international relations? A simple definition is that being the study of relationships between countries, including the roles of states, intergovernmental organizations, international non-governmental organizations or INGOs, non-governmental organizations, and multinational corporations. International relations draws upon many diverse fields, primarily economics. In other words, how the world deals with money, the haves and have-nots, deals with history. Why did we go to war here and there? Who caused what wars? Sociology, how people interact, and politics and law, both domestically and internationally. So what are some of the issues that we study in international relations? One would be nationalism. Obviously the pride in one's nation. Many think of German nationalism or Italian nationalism, or how the USA feels during Olympic years, as we would discuss, or the independence of different states, the sovereignty that is, and the international security, how occasionally a nation such as we've seen with Nazi Germany, how it got so large that the rest of the world basically ganged up on it, or on Iraq. And we also have to worry about the non-state actors in all three of these. What are some of the issues studied in international relations? Well, we look at globalization. In other words, how we've gone from our own little sector of the world to becoming part of a greater globalized world. Think about economics, how we rely on each other in interdependence. Also terrorism. Terrorism has become so widespread, not just in small areas of the world, it has become redefined. We look at economic development. How can our country help another country with their economic development and us benefit as well? And international finance. Keep in mind the dollar is valued on both the yen, the euro, and several other international currencies, and its strength or weaknesses are based upon this. One asks themselves, when did international relations begin? When did this study begin? We can really trace it back all the way through history, but for the most part, in the modern world, we're going to look at the Peace of Westphalia, which ended the 30 Years' War in 1648, where modern state system was developed. Prior to this, European medieval organization of political authority was based on a real vague hierarchical religious order, as well as with royalty and kings. Westphalia instituted the concept of sovereignty, which meant that rulers or legitimate sovereigns had no internal equals within a defined territory and no external superiors as the ultimate authority within that territory's sovereign borders. Thus, the Peace of Westphalia ended that 30 Years' War, which was basically a religious war between Protestants and Catholics in Germany and the small German states. A simple way to view this is that sovereignty says, I'm not allowed to tell you what to do and you're not allowed to tell me what to do. Ancient civilizations sometimes resembled the Westphalian system, but both lack the notion of sovereignty. The Peace of Westphalia also encouraged the rise of independent nation-states, the institution of diplomacy and armies. This particular European system was exported to the Americas, Africa, and Asia via colonialism from Europe and the standards of civilization. The contemporary international system was finally established through decolonization during the Cold War. However, this is somewhat oversimplified. While the nation-state system is considered modern, many states have not incorporated the system and are thus termed pre-modern. Further, a handful of states have moved beyond the nation-state system and can be considered postmodern. The ability of contemporary international relations discourse to explain the relations of these different states is disputed. Levels of analysis is a way of looking at the international system, which includes the individual level, the domestic nation-state as a unit, the international level of transnational and intergovernmental affairs, and the global view. We try to explain the actions of groups, the why.